I've had this little mouse mould for quite a while now, and I've used it occasionally, but when I saw this lovely Windmill Tealight holder on Temu, I couldn't resist getting this because it reminded me of a song that my mum used to sing me when I was a kid called A Windmill in Old Amsterdam by Ronnie Hilton. So I'm going to use Let's Resin Magic Pour to make the windmill, and then I'm going to use Let's Resin Epoxy Resin to make the sail. So let's get started. I've mixed up some resin, and I'm just going to add to that some of the Super Sparkle White from Tracey at MiniscenesGB. So I'm going to pop quite a decent amount of that into the resin. A little bit more, I think. Right, let's just pop the lid on that and then get this mixed in. So this is going to be for the sails of the windmill. So I think that's nicely mixed in. So I'm just going to pop that into this mould, getting that all nice and domed. I think I haven't made this mould before, so I'm not sure if it needs to be domed or level, to be honest, but we'll soon find out. Right, well, I definitely don't want to cover up that hole because I'm going to need that. So I think just a little bit more and that will be okay. Right, that will do, I think. Right, so just going to leave that to cure, and then we'll move on to the next bit. This is all cured up now, so this one's ready to come out of its mould. Should be nice and simple. Put that to one side. So there's the sparkly wind sails. Right, so next we need to do this bit. So I'm going to be using the Magic Pour, 3:1 ratio by weight. So I've got 300 grams of powder in there and 100 grams of the water. So I'm going to add let's find a stirry stick. I'm going to add the powder to the water and mix that in. I find it easier just to add it in slowly. Right, so let's just get this mixed up. Make sure you scrape around your sides like you normally would do. Doesn't take long to mix this, and it mixes in really well, this Magic Pour. Right, no lumps and bumps or anything in there. Perfect. So let's get this poured. Right, so start with, let's get that hair out of there first. Right, let's start with this one. So I think this just needs to be all the way up to the top. And then same with this one. Right, so those little squares, they need to be covered up. And the little hearts showing. And then this one, I think this just needs to be poured right up to the top there. Let that flow into all those little areas. And then finally this one. Oopsie daisies. So I think that hole needs to, that little bobbly bit needs to be covered up because that's lower than the rest. So fill this one up to the top. That's that one done. Just going to scoot that one over if I can, and then I'm just going to top up my little mouse mould whilst they top it up. I'm going to fill it up. So that's that one all done. Right, I'll just find something for that little bit in there, and then I'll be back when these are ready to demold. These are all cured up now, so let's gently get these out. That's the base, and that's part of the roof. Oh, get these out. Right, this one's the front. So that's the front piece, and this one is one of the side panels. So that's the side. So they will slot into the base like that. So which bit does it go in? Does it go that way? Right, I think that needs trimming a little bit, but I do need to make another side, and then by the looks of it I need to make another bit of the roof panel, because that will go on like that. So I'll do that in a minute. I can do that off camera. You don't need to see me doing that again. So let's pop out our little mouse. Oh, there's our little mouse. Right, so I've got a black pen, and I'm just going to colour in his nose. Give him a little black nose. And I'll give him little black eyes, and another one that side. Oops. Lovely. I don't know whether to do his whiskers. I think they might be a bit hard to do with such a... I need a finer pen, I think. I'll see if I can find one. Right, so I'm just going to give him some, or her, some pink ears. So I'm just going to go around the inside with this pink. Doesn't look very pink there, does it? Hopefully it'll be okay. Just go around there. It doesn't look particularly pink, does it? Maybe I'll do the other side, and then maybe I'll go over it. So just colouring in this one. At least they'll both be the same then, and if I go over the top of it with another pink. Right, that's that one done. It's not covering very well. Okay, right, let's see what other pink pen I've got. Right, let's try this one. See if this one's any better. Should I go straight over the top? Yeah. Oh, that's a better pink, look. Right, so I'm just going to go over what I've done already with this pink, and then I'll be back. So that's the little mouse all finished now. I finished off his ears, and I did find a thinner pen to do some whiskers there, and I've just given him or her a little pink tail. So that's all finished. So I just need to go and make up another side piece and another roof, and then I'll be back to put it all together. Before I put the windmill together, I want a base for it to sit on. So I've gone round the outside of this mould with the Let's Resin chrome powder in green. So that's from the chrome powder set. So that's all round the outside, and I've mixed up some resin, and I'm going to add to that some green glitter. So I'm going to pop quite a good helping of that into there. So this will be our sort of grass base for our windmill and our little mouse. So I'm just going to get this all mixed in, and I want it to be quite a thick green. I don't want to see any clear, so I think I might put a little bit more in. Chuck a good helping of that into there, and give that another mix in. I'm not going to put any glue or anything like that in to stop it sinking, because I want it to sink so it all shows on the bottom, which will be the top. So not worried about that too much. Right, I think that would be okay. So I'm just going to pour this in. I might have done with a bit more glitter actually, but I think it'll be okay. Does it need a bit more? Actually, I think I'll add a bit more now. Pop some more in. Oops. Oopsie daisies. That was quite a lot. Never mind, it probably needs quite a lot. So I'm just going to mix that in. And then top it up with this thicker mixture of the glitter. That's better. That's better. Right, so we're just going to leave this to cure now. Oh look, just made enough. That was good. I think that was, I think I made up 80 of each. No, I didn't. I made up 90 of each. So 180 in total. So could probably have done with just a fraction more, but I think it'll be okay. Right, so I'm just going to leave that to cure now, and then I'll see you back for demold. This is all cured up now, so let's pop this one out and see how it's looking. Right, let's put your moulds back in the right way. Get out the way. Let's have a look. Oh, that's lovely. Like that. So that's going to be our base for our little windmill. Right, so let's get our windmill put together. Let's put that to one side for a minute. So we've got, oh actually I think I need to do this bit first, because that needs to go. Let's just put it together. So that bit in the middle there, and then these two bits either side, and that one there, and then the roof has these little knobbly bits out of it, so that goes on there and there, and then the same that side. Where is it? There, like that. So our little wind sail needs to go on there, and I think I'm going to use one of these little cotton bud thingies. So I'm just going to take that centre part, put that to one side for a minute, and I'm just going to snip that end off. So that will go in there. Let's chop the other end off as well. And I think, let's just pop that in there and see. Yep, that fits in there okay. Right, so I need to stick that in there somehow. So I'm going to use the Let's Resin Bond-In UV, and I'm going to put a blob on the end of this little stick, and then place that in there. and then cure that. Only takes about 10 seconds, so it doesn't take long. Right, hopefully this will be strong enough. I think I'm just going to put, let's see if it holds it first. Put that on there. No, I need to secure that a bit better. Right, let's just put a blob straight down into the middle of there. And then set that into place like that. Hopefully that will hold it. That's better, I think. Yep, that's got it. Right, let's pop that to one side for a minute. So now if I put this all back together and put the roof back on, that bit on there, and then that bit back on to there, and I'm just going to tilt this forward and use some of the bonding UV again, just to sort of tack it into place. So some down there, and then cure that, and then I'll do the same on the other side. And cure that. And then I think it will need a little bit on the roof. So I'm just going to put a little drop in each corner, oops, of this roof bit. So a bit there, a bit there, and then cure that. Right, that should be okay. Hopefully that's all held together now. Lovely. And then I'm going to use some of the B7000 and put some of that into here, in this little trough here. And then that should hold it all together on the bottom. Right, let's set that back into place in there. Hold that down. Lovely. So that's how it's looking at the moment. And now hopefully this will be strong enough to hold my windmill sails. Right, so that there. And then I can chop off the excess bit there. And to stop that falling off, I'm just going to put a little blob of the bonding UV on the top there, make a little bobble, and then quickly cure that. So they're not going to turn. Right, so now our windmill can go onto its base. Just pop that back in there. Where's my base gone? Here it is. So that can go in there, and then little mousey can sit by the side of this windmill. Do I put it at an angle or straight? No, I think I'll put it straight. And he can sit there. Right, so I'm just going to mix up some more resin and set this all into place. I've mixed up a small amount of resin, and I'm just going to coat the bottom of the tray here. That should also bring out the sparkle more in that glitter. So just a thin layer on the bottom there. Pop all that in there. And then I'm just going to swoosh that around to cover that bottom area. It's not going to need a lot. Just make sure I've got it touching around all the edges. Lovely. And I'm just going to give that a quick torch, get rid of any bubbles that might be there. And then place my windmill back into that resin there. Push that down into place. And then the same with the little mouse. So she can go next to her little home there. Hold that down. Stop that moving a bit. Right, and then I'm just going to give that another quick torch, just because I've fiddled about with it. Right, so we're just going to leave this to cure now, and then I'll see you back when it's all ready. This is all cured now, so that's how it's looking, all finished. And then you put the tea light in the back there, so that just pops into there like that. So thank you ever so much for watching my video today, and stay tuned for the pictures at the end and you'll see it all nicely lit up. Bye for now.